Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, we're going to be talking about, this is a dampener, but we're going to be talking about, do dampeners work? What types of dampeners are there? Who invented them? All those questions. Stay tuned.
Practice anytime, day or night, 24/7, 365 with Fast Track Tennis. Get your Fast Track Tennis today and get 10% off with Tennis Spin. Link is below. And get your tennis on the Fast Track.
Episode of my coffee club. And today's coffee is sponsored by James G. James G writes, "Thank you very much for your informative and entertaining tennis channel. Yours is my favorite and the best. And there are some very good ones out there. I really enjoyed you and Coach Rob reviewing the Stars and Stripes 95. I just injured my wrist playing, and your video on my wrist injuries was very helpful. Thank you so much for everything." Oh, so glad to help with that, James. Wrist injuries are difficult to kind of heal up. It does take time, and a lot of it stems from hitting the ball too late, especially when it hurts down here. I mean, Coach Rob and I are experts at that. So,
hitting the ball late or sore wrist?
Sore wrist.
But speak for yourself.
Well, you see it because you have Continental. Okay. Like, I experienced it because I don't see it. So
my wrist is good.
Yeah, that Continental is great for not hurting your wrist. My Western is not great for not hurting your wrist. So, but yeah, he's an expert because he's seen it so many times. I'm an expert because I've experienced it so many times. But James, thank you so much for the coffee. Appreciate you. If you want to sponsor the Coffee Club network, is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. You want to support the channel? Super thanks is the way. Link is below. Thanks again, guys. Thank you, James. All right. Yeah, that Stars and Stripes was actually really, really good.
It was fun hitting with that.
Yeah, we got to keep that, guys, and thank you, James, for letting us do that. Speaking of wrist injuries, we're actually going to be talking about the simple rubber band today. And how this can be a weapon or help be a vibration dampener. Like Andre Agassi used this as a vibration dampener. You are holding a leather strap, which I use as power pads that people use as vibration dampener. When you put it in between the strings on the main, that helps dampen some of the vibrating properties of the string when the ball releases. What do you think of that?
I liked them.
Yeah,
it was cool back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they all kind of had it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was to help keep the string from breaking, like on the wood frame.
That's what I thought.
The edges.
Yep.
And then it was known as a power pad. I was like, okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
So now that we're using it as a way of trying to dampen, absorb some shock. So cool.
Yeah, because Fed didn't use a dampener, but he used power pads. So I believe that this subtly, because he had that gut on the main and that poly on the cross, this subtly quieted his racket down. When it hit that gut, it wouldn't resonate so much, and it would kind of absorb the vibration when it hit these pads around those loops on the main. Rob, who invented vibration dampeners?
Well, I cheated, so I know the answer because I looked it up. But if you'd asked me that before I had cheated, I would tell you I don't know. So I can tell you now that I read the material. It was back in the early 60s. Rene Leconte. Or was it Lacoste?
Lacoste.
Rene Lacoste.
Yeah.
Edit that one.
What?
Rene Lacoste.
Yes. So not only did he do cool clothes and is now making a racket, but he was the first person who tried to patent the vibration dampener. Like, just looking back at my own history, I don't really remember when I got my wooden racket in the late 70s that they even sold dampeners. Was it even a thing?
No.
Yeah, right?
I don't remember it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even though we had wooden rackets, from what I was researching, people would wrap the handle with like cloth or something so that the vibration when you struck that 80 square inch head would not vibrate into that leather grip so much.
Right. Or it could even be going back before the grip when you were just literally holding the wood.
Yeah.
You know, I have some old wood rackets.
Yeah.
That literally is just the wood.
No grip?
No grip.
Oh, wow.
So maybe that's when they started like trying to add it and it sort of turned into a grip.
Right. This is true. But like literally, I've never heard of a dampener in the 70s. I started seeing dampeners in the late 80s when I was in high school, and it kind of became a thing that you would get like a W, you know, like it became more prevalent when
companies started
giving them to you.
Yeah. Right.
Like the Wilson hammers.
Right.
But there was a reason why they gave it to you. And what was that reason, Coach?
So your arm wouldn't hurt so bad. The racket was so stiff.
Exactly. So they actually shrunk wrapped that little W to that big fat hammer or the profile so that you didn't get, oh no, it was a pouch. It was a pouch and they called it a profile. Yes, I remember vividly now. And so when that big stiff racket with those strings you strung at like 60 or 70 pounds, yeah, it would like you hit it and it would be tong, tong, right? Right? That was when dampeners kind of became something. And then after that, it was like just blew up. Now I feel like kids use it as decoration. I would say half.
Like when we have here with the little face, right?
No. And then we got the O-rings.
The O-ring.
The O-rings.
I think you said Sampras had one of those.
Sampras had the Lifesaver. Yep.
And then we have our USTA.
They were giving away at the Stanford thing on their table. Yeah. So, and then whatever. And then the ultimate dampener. Right, they've come a long way. Like my friend Sky from Road to Pro, like the gel that they put in this actually takes the vibration out. Which until he did this, I was kind of a non-believer because I used to always tell people it was a decoration. All it did was just take the sound out. You know. What is your thought of that?
I use the same thing. I'm like, hey, if you've got arm troubles and you need something to help you, try one. If you haven't, obviously try to fix your strokes. That's giving you arm trouble. But, some people kind of grew up liking that thud sound.
Yeah.
And us that grew up with wood, using the sound of the ball was part of grasping the feel, and the sound was of more of a ping was more what we were accustomed to.
Right, and you and I like the ping.
Correct.
There are some people that hate the ping.
Correct.
And need something there to make it thud. So there's a lot of controversy over if it should even be called a vibration dampener, because studies have shown that it doesn't really dampen shock. It doesn't dampen vibration. The ITF ran a study and said, all it's really doing is altering the frequency. The vibration is still there. It's just the sound that it's altering so that it sounds like it's not causing a vibration or resonating through the racket. Therefore, you think it's not hurting you. You think that's true?
I think it comes down to each individual person if it's helping you or not.
Right. And I mean, the good and the bad of it is you and I grew up in a time where we didn't have vibration dampeners, and I used them for a bit and then I got out of it. Just because sound is very important to me, feel is very important to me. Have you ever used a dampener in your life? Never. Okay.
I mean, yes, I've put it on and hit a few balls with it. I know the difference, but I don't use one, no.
Right. Got it. So, I mean, guys, tell me if you are a vibration dampener user, what type of, is it because of tennis elbow? Is it because of sound?
Do you like the slinky one that goes through?
Or, yeah.
Or do you also know that it's legal to be touching 3 strings?
Legal or illegal?
Legal.
Okay.
So you have the 2 mains,
right,
and you
and
have
the first cross.
The first cross, that's legal.
Right.
Some people put them in between, so you put them in between the crosses, and then the 2 mains, that is illegal because I think they were saying that could then change the spin of the ball.
Right. That's a foreign object in the string bed.
Right.
That's correct. I've seen so many people do that lately too, which amazes me, because I tell people, I was like, that's illegal. And they're like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, it's got to be below that last string. Right. So, guys, like I said, I can't stress enough that this actually does work. To my amazement, I've actually given this to people who are wearing straps, and like 3 weeks later, they've thanked me and said, I cannot believe it worked. And I was like, yeah, see, I've been, bad-mouthing dampeners forever. And finally I find a dampener that actually works. So, look, even shows the thing in the back, the frequency stuff. So guys, I'm not just peddling this, I'm just saying it actually does work. And I have my own personal studies that actually show it. But yeah, let me know, guys, if you're a dampener, and tell me why you use one. Okay? We are not dampener users, but we understand the frequency, we understand the decoration properties, or you just wanting to personalize it for yourself, saying, put move on there, move your feet. Okay? That stuff I totally understand. Coach Rob, anything to add?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your